Good evening.
Hi, everybody.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Oh, boy.
Seahorses forever.
Hey, guys, what's going on? Sorry about it. About me not keeping my promise. I just said on the last show that I was going to start doing it every week, Saturday of every week at 3. And what I do, I fucking missed last week. Sorry about that. But it is Saturday. It is around 3 o'clock, so hopefully this will make up for it. A lot of shit going on, not only with me, but in this country of ours, politically as well as entertainmentally. It's not a word, but I just wanted to make it fit with what I just said. So, all that to talk about, plus, my colorful take on everything. Coming up on the Weekly Act, it starts right now. Welcome to the Weekly Act for July 22nd, 2017. I'm Mac. It's fucking hot as balls outside. I went running because I'm an idiot, during the day. I mean, I'm an idiot all the time, but I went running during the day. In this fucking 100-degree heat. It's 100 degrees outside, and, that type of weather that even if you don't have leather seats in your car, it just fries the shit out of your back of your, the back thigh meat. Because I'm wearing shorts, obviously. I'm not going to go running in pants like a douche or a woman. I don't know. Women do go running in yoga pants even when it's hot as fuck outside. Yeah, it's hot. And the park that I go run at has one of those, water things. It's not a water park, it's a water something that they can just go turn on, whenever, which is weird to me. Like, you can just go fucking turn that on. Like, I can go play in it. Like, it's weird. Like, you don't need, like, a quarter or a code or anything. You can just play in it. So I thought there wouldn't be. I try to go exercise in public places when I think nobody will be around, and I was like, surely in this 100-degree, it is Saturday, but surely in this 100-degree heat, nobody will be out here. But no, there's a birthday party. But it makes sense. They brought their own tents, not tents, but those things, like when you go to a fair and they have like a booth set up. It's one of those things that they're sitting under, plus, the water, whatever it is, the water thing, the water playground. Yeah. So, normally I try to collect my thoughts and think about when I do a show, when I am going to do a show, that's where I try to collect all my thoughts, is when I'm exercising, Because what else? I mean, I got music playing, but what else do I have to think about, right? If I don't think about something else, I'm just thinking about, God, I fucking hate exercising. I can't wait till I'm fucking done with this. So this way, it makes it go by a lot quicker. Went to San Antonio last week for a work thing, which was fun because I didn't go on any vacations this year because I did summer school all of June, which is easy, but it's, it's still going to work when, like, everyone else that's not doing summer school is off for a whole month. I did get paid and everything, but still, can you really put a price on free time? The answer is no. You cannot. And I had to use that money for, like, adult things, like dildos and pornography. No, like adult, like on my car and like a bunch of stupid expenses that I had to make that came up. So I didn't have any extra money, and plus my umpire money I didn't really save. I just kind of blew all that. So I didn't have any money saved up to travel anyway. So going to San Antonio, even though it was a work thing, was nice because it was about a week, and all the work stuff was during the day, and then at night we all got to go out and enjoy San Antonio because it's a bigger city than where we live. But it was I won't get into too much. Like I don't want to just talk about teacher stuff. But it was a conference about, it's called AVID, A-V-I-D. I don't know if anybody knows. Maybe if you have kids, your kids are involved in AVID. But it's just a way to teach. It's just a program that schools adopt that in order to make kids college ready. They want teachers to implement strategies that prepare them more for college, like skill-wise. Like a lot of kids don't know how to take notes. Or they don't know how to write down everything on the board or the PowerPoint or whatever, but they don't know how to use that later. They don't know how to analyze readings. They don't know how to, they just don't know how to, just a lot of stuff that you're going to do in college. You don't, high school isn't college. So a lot of schools don't teach those things. And then they get there and, oh, you mean, you get to college and you're like, oh, you mean we're not going to create like a booklet of, and draw things for a grade, like you would do in, like geography. Oh, we're not going to create a pamphlet, to travel that I can color for a test grade. No, that ain't happening. So just teaches you, it's just a big, professional development kind of thing. And you're in a room with people that teach the same subject as you from all over the place. Even people from out of state, because they do these in different cities. Like there's an AVID conference, they call it a summer institute. There's one in San Diego. There's one I think in Denver, and I think in Chicago. It's typically Midwest towards the west where this is. This isn't really catching on in the East. I don't know if it has something to do with them doing more of the Common Core thing, but whatever. Anyway, enough of that. I don't want to talk about that shit. I'm still trying to enjoy the last part of summer vacation, so I don't want to talk about school yet. I had to do that all last week. But, and then I fucking come home after being gone a week, with, you're staying in a hotel and you're maybe not necessarily hanging out with people that you'd want to hang out. I mean, the whole school didn't go. All the teachers didn't go. It's just a certain group. And does it necessarily mean that you're with people you love? But I didn't hate anybody either. But it's just not people that I wouldn't necessarily hang out with, outside of work on my own time. Had it not been for this. So I'm like, we had to ride together in company rented vehicles and stuff. So it's tired of everybody. I just want to come home and just, watch TV and not do anything. And then I fucking come home. And that night, because we got back at like 5, because we came back on a Friday afternoon, and traffic, trying to leave San Antonio in the afternoon on a Friday, and then you have to drive through Austin to get back home, to get back here. It just took forever. And then had to return the vehicles to Enterprise and all this shit. And then I'm just exhausted. I just want to watch TV, and my fucking TV doesn't work. I sit down in my giant couch. I lay down on my giant couch, and I turn on the TV, and I hear the sound. No picture. No fucking picture. TV's only 2 years old. It's a Sharp Aquos. It's not like a shitty brand, I don't think. And fucking not working. So like, God damn it. I have a TV in my bedroom, which, I was able to watch something, but I was like, God dang it. I don't, so what do? Do I try to get it fixed? Which, like, sometimes, you hear horror stories that cost more than just buying a new one. And I just bought tires. I had to buy tires, which is a good story because the tires I found, tires are god-awful expensive. There was a time, I've only owned a truck once in my life, and I owned it for such a short period of time, I never had to put tires on it. And I've only owned small, like, Corollas and Civics and things like that. And I would, before I, like, researched, before when I was just an idiot still, I would spend $500-$600 on tires. That's crazy for a little car. Discount tire is not discount. I mean, it's fucking awful. And it takes that fucking place. You can get there. I remember the first time I ever went there, I was like, ooh, they open at 8. I'm like, man, I'm going to get a head start. I'm going to wait outside at 7:45. The goddamn place looked like it opened at 7:45. The people were just lined up like they were waiting for concert tickets. I was like, holy shit. Place didn't even open yet. So I don't, that's a lot of money. But then you don't want to pay too little for tires because you don't want, you don't want them to like explode or whatever, or just go flat as soon as you get them. So, I was going to just stick with Walmart because Walmart is pretty cheap, right? If you get tires and have them put on there, you can get a service where they'll rotate them and balance them for life. And you go to any Walmart and it's all, they look up on the database and they know that you bought tires there, so you can get them done, if you're out of town or whatever. So I was like, I'm gonna have to probably spend. I was still thinking about name brand tires that I knew of, tires that I was familiar with. They have Goodyear and it's like $80 a tire, which is not bad, which is still way cheaper than when I was spending a discount tire. But then I was like, I wonder if anybody, because I buy a shit ton of stuff on Amazon, like everyone does. I was like, I wonder if Amazon sells tires, and if they do, are they shit tires? Like that I've never heard of. So I went on there and I found tires for like $35, like $35 each. I'm like, oh fuck, these are gonna be terrible. I mean, I was looking, I wasn't just buying random tires, and they're called Milestar tires. And then I look them up, and I look at the reviews on Amazon, and they're really good. I mean, the reviews are really good. Surprisingly, they have a warranty. They have you can't. When a tire says how many miles they're guaranteed for, you don't take it on, face value, whatever. You don't just, it's a 55,000 mile tire. Oh, it's definitely going to last 55,000 miles. But still, they were guaranteed to 55,000 miles. And I'm like, man, really? For $35 a tire? I mean, even if they get, half that, I think it's a good deal. Well, maybe a little more. If they get 30,000 miles for $35, I'm coming out on top. And so I was like, I think I'm going to buy these. And so I call my local Walmart, and I go, can I bring in tires that I buy somewhere else, and will you guys put them on? And they're like, yeah, but it's more expensive. We charge $10 more. It's $12 per tire for them to mount them and balance them. But it's $10 more. So it's $22 per tire if you buy them somewhere else. I'm like, oh, all right. And I was like, that's still not bad because they're so cheap, whatever. And then I started looking on Walmart's website, and they have the same tire. They have these Milestar tires, not in the shop, but you can order them. And but they're a little bit more. They're like $43 per tire. I'm like, but I'm still saving because I don't have to pay the extra $10 to get them put on. And then it turns out when I go to buy them and pay for them, because that's what I decided to do. I'm going to buy that brand from Walmart. And if you get them, even though I'm not like taking them with me, like you buy online and they ship to the store and you pick them up. Walmart's starting to give like a discount if you come to the store and pick up your merchandise. Instead of having them ship it to you. I mean, not just the no shipping, but like an actual discount off the price of whatever you're buying. So these tires, I ended up getting like $40 off, like $10 off per tire, and that ends up being like exactly how much they were on Amazon. Like, well, shit, yeah. Even though I'm not, I got to go to the store to get them anyway. It's not like, I'm just gonna, of course I have to go, but whatever. If they're gonna offer me $40 off to come pick them up, how else am I gonna get them on my car? But whatever. And I don't know, they're pretty nice. They're not loud. Sometimes cheap tires can be loud on the road. They haven't gone flat. They look like real tires. And I even found reviews on YouTube, people that bought them and said they were pretty good. So hopefully they are. So in all, and I got 4 brand new tires plus mounted and balanced, and also free tire rotations for life of the tires for like $200. It wasn't bad at all, which kind of lessened the blow. I mean, it's still $200, but it lessened the blow of me having to go buy a brand new TV, which ended up being, because the old one was 55 inches. I didn't want to go smaller than that in my living room because, I'm spoiled and, we're entitled here in America or whatever. I got to have a 55-incher. Anything smaller than that, that's for faggots. And communists. But I didn't want to go smaller. And apparently, a guy told me this when I bought my other TV, when I bought one for my bedroom a couple years ago. Because I guess, like, right after I got that Sharp TV, and I guess Sharp went out of, I don't know if they went out of business or they sold off their TV division, which was weird because, I mean, Sharp's not one of the most expensive, but remember they had George Takei, the guy from Star Trek, on the Sharp Aqua. He'd say, "Oh my," he'd be in that white lab coat. So I was like, I thought they were, it was a brand that would stick around, but apparently Hisense, H-I-Sense, like 6 cents, S-E-N-S-E. I guess they bought it, the plant that makes them. So it's like the same TV, only it's got that brand name on it, and that's what I got, the one I got for my bedroom, and it's great. You don't need a great TV for your bedroom, but still, it's pretty nice. And so this one, a 55-inch Hisense was on sale for $399 at Best Buy for one day. It's a smart TV, 4K upscaling, which is exactly what my other one was. And I paid more for the other one, for the Sharp. And it was Sunday, so it was about to, it was Saturday. Yeah, it was Saturday. So the sale was going to be off Sunday. The new sales would start. And I was like, fuck, I got to get it because it's going to go back up to like $450, even though it's only $50 more. But still, that's the cheapest one. That's exactly like my other one. Any other brand would have been at least $500. So I got it, and, I still had to spend $400 fucking dollars, but at least I didn't, take a hit on, on the quality or the size or whatever. I don't even know why I got a smart TV. I have an Amazon Fire Stick because I use Sling. This is a free advertisement for Sling. If you're sick of cable, just spend a little bit extra money and get really fast internet and get Sling, which is, of course, it doesn't have as many channels as cable, but you can kind of pick and choose. And they have a $20 package, which gets you, regular, AMC, FX, all those, cable channels, and then the ESPN package of sports. So this is based on if you like sports or not. The $25 one, for some reason, is more expensive. Fox is more expensive, I guess, which you get those channels, and then you get the Fox Sports package of, like if your local Fox Sports Southwest is what we have, but, Fox Sports Midwest, if you live in the Midwest, Fox Sports West, all that shit. $25, and then $40 or $39.99 if you want all of them together. And it's, if you have fast enough internet, you really don't notice a difference. It really doesn't seem like it's streaming things, But the smart TVs don't have that. Only Roku or Amazon Fire Sticks have Sling, and even Hulu built into it. Like, smart TVs just have Netflix. I mean, they have other stuff, but Netflix is basically the only thing you're looking at. You're not watching Vudu or whatever it's called, or Amazon Video. I do watch that because I have Prime, so I can watch. But I'm not listening to Pandora on my TV. They have all these apps that they do have MLB.TV on smart TVs, which I do watch. I have a subscription to that, of course. But it's just easier, I think, to, even though it's kind of overkill because the Amazon or the Roku have, Netflix on it already, plus a lot of the other apps are on the smart TV, but it doesn't have Hulu, or Sling. So when you want to watch live stuff, Sling doesn't have local channels. You still have to get one of those, digital antennas for that. But if you don't watch your local channels, I mean, if you watch like every other thing, if you don't want to watch it live, like Hulu's got brand new episodes of things. I'm just turning into an ad for all this stuff. Anyway, I'm just saying it's better. Maybe you save the money. I don't know. They're all smart TVs now. It's like you can't get a good 4K TV and it not be smart. But if you can, I would save the money. Don't get a smart TV and then get either a Roku or a Fire Stick because it ends up being a better deal because. Especially if you want, Sling and you want to have cable that way. If you're tired of, Time Warner, well, it's Spectrum now or whatever any of the other cable companies are. Anyway, what else? What else did I want to talk about me before I got on to nationwide news? Let's see. Oh, screw it. We'll just get into all the other stuff, the national stuff, the stuff not about me. We'll just make it a shorter show this time. So Hall of Fame weekend coming up. Pudge Rodriguez, not Fisk, not Carlton Fisk, who's also in the Hall of Fame, but Pudge is going into the Hall of Fame. As a Ranger fan, I enjoy that. I'm happy because he, hang on. Man, these fucking Yetis are amazing. Like I've left, I know you probably know this if you have a Yeti cooler or, cup or whatever. I left drinking this with ice overnight and there's ice in it the next morning. Fucking insane. I was worried about Pudge because he came from an era, the steroid era. And I think his name has been mentioned sometimes in relationship to steroids. I can never figure out how I feel about that. I mean, of course, because it's a player that I love, I'm happy. But, there's some people that I know that we talk about this and they're like, whatever. I don't care if it's steroids or not. If they performed, they should be in the Hall of Fame. And then some of those same people, not all of them, but some of those same people will still say, well, Pete Rose should never be in the Hall of Fame. I'm like, okay, they're different things, but aren't they both, don't they both kind of affect the integrity of the player or the game? I mean, Pete Rose didn't cheat. Like, if you want to look at steroids, you look at it as cheating, right? You're trying to get an edge that other people don't have by taking steroids. Pete Rose didn't cheat. He just bet on baseball. And, people that defend him, I say this too, they never found any evidence that he was throwing games, that he was like betting on his team to lose, like the Black Sox scandal. He didn't throw any games and lose them on purpose, but still, it doesn't look good when you're betting on your own team. Okay, so he's out for life, so far. But then, other players who have to, deal with steroids, but I don't know, because, they don't tell you why when the sports writers vote, and, they don't come out and say, well, this is why this person didn't make it this time. So you can only speculate. And, I'm sure there are some sports writers who said that I'm not voting for a player if he was even mentioned about steroids. Not even if there's any proof, just if he's mentioned in there at all. I'm like, well, that's kind of not fair. Because, sometimes people, if they're going down, they're going to take everyone with them. Even if it's not true, they're just going to start naming, Jose Canseco came out with that book and just kind of like fucked everybody. Right or wrong, it's still fuck them, and it hurts so much too, because I was a Palmeiro fan, a Rafael Palmeiro fan, because he played for the Rangers, he played for the Orioles and the Cubs. Beautiful swing, and he played first. I was a first baseman. I used to try to be him at first base because I couldn't hit like him, but I tried to play first the way he did because he was a Gold Glove first baseman too, And he was one that I was like, nah, he didn't do steroids. He didn't look it. I guess it doesn't matter how, but he didn't to me, he didn't swell up like Bonds, and just get crazy big like McGuire. He still looked kind of, he was a little bigger, but a lot of players get naturally bigger when they just work out. And he just never looked like he did. And then he goes before Congress and he says, he points. I can still see that when it was on like C-SPAN and he was saying, I did not, I didn't. And then it turns out he did. But it's just that he lied about it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if you fucked up, fine. And I understand why, nobody's perfect. Who knows? I probably would have lied too, but it just makes it look so much worse. If they're hauling you in front of Congress because they think, there's a good chance that you did. I don't think they hauled him in front. I think they were asked to come. But still, it's just, and then you lie about it, and you're so vehemently, defending yourself, and then you did. I think it was a 30 for 30 or something on ESPN about how he's just like nobody talks to him. Some of the other players, he went to Mississippi State with Will Clark. If this is for baseball fans, Will Clark played for the Rangers too, but most of his career he played in San Francisco, and those two guys playing on the same team, those beautiful swings, now they, when they go back to, I know that he hasn't, the thing with them was, Rafael Palmeira's contract was up in Texas, and then Clark comes to Texas and kind of takes his spot after they had they were kind of like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then he comes and takes, and then that's when Palmeiro goes to Baltimore. So they were kind of, not friends anymore anyway. But then this, Will Clark's really not going to be sympathetic when he gets screwed, when he gets, not he didn't get screwed, but when he gets in trouble. And, he's just saying, well, he should have taken steroids and then lied about it. But anyway, so Pudge is getting in, and because I was really worried because he was mentioned, and he was during that time, and he was, pretty stout, like muscly guy, and I was like, oh, geez, I don't know. I hope not. But you can't, to be a catcher, you have to be very, flexible. You can't get too big. You can't crouch, and you got to be quick, to throw out somebody at second. And so I don't know. I mean, he's getting in the Hall of Fame, so enough sports writers didn't believe that he had anything to do with steroids to vote him in. So I'm happy about that because he was an amazing catcher. I mean, if you've ever seen him, I mean, you're not stealing second unless you're fucking Ricky Henderson or Kenny Lofton or some, but he's gonna, if you're just an average player, you're getting thrown out. You better not, even if you're just standing on first. He picked off a lot of guys just standing on first, not paying attention. So I'm excited about that. And Craig Biggio's going in. Is that this year? Or is that last year? My friend at school that hates the Rangers, and he's from Houston, and he obviously loves the Astros. Let's see. Did Craig Biggio get in this year or last year? Maybe it was last year. Let me look it up. HOF. Yeah, I guess it was last year. Oh, 2015. Oh, 2 years ago. Man. Fucking shit. I need to get my act together. 2015. Who's going in this year? Let me look. This is just for me. Hall of Fame class of 2017. So Pudge is one. Tim Raines. Oh, Bagwell's going in. That's who it was. I knew. I for some reason I had Astro in my head. Okay, so Jeff Bagwell is going in. Pudge and Tim Raines. Good for him. I feel like Tim Raines got forgotten about a lot. Those are nice hats they're wearing in their picture here. What are the voting results? Oh, Pudge. Bagwell got in a lot higher. 76% is what Pudge got. Maybe that's why. Maybe it did have a little bit to do with maybe it had a little bit to do about him being mentioned, in the steroid talk. Who else was on the ballot this year? Clemens and Bonds are on there, but they're two of the big ones that were, supposed to be doping. Manny Ramirez is on there, dope fiend. Gary Sheffield, Sammy Sosa. Oh my God, have you guys seen Sammy Sosa? Did you see him at the All-Star game? He's like a fucking white guy now. People are like, holy shit, he looks like somebody tweeted that he looks like the milk at the bottom of the Fruity Pebbles when you're done. He's like bleached his skin or something. Like, it's like reminds you of Michael Jackson or something. But I was reading, and apparently he would put on this cream. Like, even when he was still playing, like, people noticed his complexion was a little bit lighter. Because, I mean, he was, he's Dominican or Cuban, but he was very dark complected. And now, I mean, he's pink. I mean, I was like, who the hell is this? It was crazy. I mean, I couldn't, I couldn't believe it. I don't think he has that, there's a disease or a genetic disorder that will cause you to lose pigment, but I don't think he has that. I think he was like, lightening his skin. And I don't know if is that insensitive that I was that scared, nervous or that surprised by it. It's different, Sammy Sosa looked one way. And that's the thing. I don't want to get, I was talking about this with somebody. When something's new in a person, and if you're surprised, then you're intolerant of it. And I think I'm pretty tolerant. I mean, just because I lean towards one political party, I don't think that just automatically makes me a good person or tolerant or whatever. But, the Dems, I'm not a full Democrat. I'm a left-leaning moderate. That's what I identify with. But I don't like the extreme political correctness of the left, and we should be tolerant. We shouldn't, racism is a thing. Women's rights, women's equality, the feminists. Those are all good things. I mean, it's not good that there's racism and that women aren't treated fairly, but it's a good thing to try to get to that point where everyone's treated fairly. But to make you feel like a bigot or a racist when you have an honest reaction to something different, I don't think that's fair. I mean, as humans, we're curious and we question things, and I don't think just because sorry, this is becoming political. I'm old now. I'm cranky and an old, whatever. But I don't think it's fair to automatically, if somebody's like, whoa, that's surprising, or that's like, if somebody all of a sudden that let's make it not Caitlyn Jenner, let's make it somebody and it's not, sometimes if somebody comes out as gay or they end up being, they're like, I think I'm gonna be transition to another sex. Sometimes you can see that coming, but there's sometimes people hide it really well because they're ashamed, and then all of a sudden, somebody's just, well, with being gay, you just kind of say you're gay. I mean, there's no physical change, but like if you all of a sudden, you have a friend and they go away for a few weeks and they come back and they're, have boobs and, and you're like, whoa, what is this? And some people will label you as being intolerant or just a terrible person. But I don't think you're curious. You're like, whoa, what is it? Cause like, and now I go back to Caitlyn Jenner, but like all of a sudden he just was a woman, like he was being miserable on the Kardashians, and then he's a woman, and everyone was like, whoa, where was what? And I don't think that's not intolerance, or that's not bigotry or evil or whatever. It's just like, whoa, wait a minute, hang on just a minute. Because typically, okay, most men don't become women. Typically, right? That's a out of the ordinary thing. Not a bad thing. Me personally, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it is not typical for a guy to cut his dick off and be a woman. I'm oversimplifying it, of course. But to make people feel bad that you should automatically just be instantly okay with that when you get blindsided, especially if it's somebody you know or love. I don't think that's fair to make people feel bad about that. I mean, there are some very bad people who would, attack them, and hateful in a hateful way. But I don't think if you have an honest, curious, questioning reaction to something like that, I don't think it's fair for, because I mean, who knows? People say a lot of things. They want to seem like they're a good person. They could be just as bad, but the thing they voice is you're not tolerant. You're not, or you hate them now. Like, it's just, I don't know. And that's the same thing with this whole fucking. I'm just gonna keep talking about politics, okay? I'm not like what I think is right, like not my personal politics, but just this whole. I mean, God, I don't like Trump, but God, I'm tired of hearing about him. Like, I like Stephen Colbert, but that's all he talks about, And I know it's okay. This is he's new in on the Late Show, so this is his first president. So, this is what he's got, but it's. I'm kind of an old soul. I wish I was old enough to have watched Johnny Carson forever, but Johnny Carson would equally make fun of every. He was on for 30 years, so he equally made fun of all the presidents because they're all politicians. They're all going to do stupid shit. I mean, but Trump just really does stupid shit. I liked Obama, but he was not perfect. He did a lot of bad stuff. I mean, but you're never going to win as president. You're gonna, you're just not. But if he, a lot of the other ones knew when to shut up, and they didn't have Twitter to anyway. But I watched a documentary about Johnny Carson, and his producers would say like he went after everyone equally, and you'd be hard pressed to figure out who he ever voted for. And that's probably how it should be. I mean, why alien? Like if Colbert, goes hardcore against Trump, and then the next guy comes in, he's a Democrat, and and he doesn't do that. He just kind of he backs off. That's gonna like alienate. They said why alienate half your audience? Let's just say there's half Democrats and half Republicans. If you make fun of everyone equally, and it's hard with Colbert because he just started, but if you can equally make fun of if you can make fun of them all equally, then Democrats can't say, oh, he favors Republicans and vice versa, So and that's why I can't watch the news. I mean, it's all like that. I wish they would just report the news, but that's just not what people are into anymore, I mean, you can jump on Fox News, but they all do it, Nobody just reports the news anymore. And I know that's not entertainment. Like, it's entertainment now. People want entertainment. That's why SportsCenter fails and flounders, because nobody wants. I mean, we don't really need SportsCenter to report the scores because you have smartphones and stuff. But nobody wants to just hear the news, reporting the sports scores. Nobody wants to just hear news. They want to hear people arguing and fighting. That's entertaining. But I mean, why can't I wish they would just all report the news and then we can form our own opinion. Don't skew it. You're just supposed to report the news. That's all you are. You're not supposed to be. I mean, I feel news channels shouldn't be editorials. They shouldn't be the opinion section. Not all of it anyway. I mean, that's all it is. I mean, I'm not saying there can't be shows, like a show. You're like, okay, this is clearly a show, not just reporting the news where I give my opinion. And I know there are those, but that's all there is. I wish there was still just a neutral, just reporting of the news for most of it. And then you have the opinion shows, the talk shows. But have some other people too. Like Fox News should have some other, have both. Have different, people from different parties have shows. Balance it out. They always talk about fair and balanced. Why is it all? I mean, it isn't. I mean, they can say that it is all day, but it's not. CNN's not, and I lean more towards the left. But even I can say that. I'm like, all right, just like with Colbert. I mean, yeah, Trump's an idiot, but oh my God, can we stop destroying him all the time? It's not. I'm tired of hearing about it. I know. I don't think he's doing a good job. I don't want to keep hearing about how he's not doing a good job. Excuse me. Sorry. Breathed in on the mic. But anyway, so speaking of that, Sean Spicer resigned. Good God, spicy. You could see that coming. I mean, that guy. I mean, even if you're a staunch, diehard Republican, I mean, how many times can you go out there and just take shit for the team? I mean, he's got to explain all the weird shit he's doing. I mean, he's got to be exhausted from doing that. And then, I mean, he resigned because of who did he appoint as Scaramucci to what is his job? His communications director. And apparently Sean Spicer was very opposed to that. So he's gone. So good for him. Now maybe he can live longer. Maybe there's less stress now. Because I mean, if he, does anybody? I don't understand how people can still defend some of the stuff he says. If you're just a hardcore Republican, but come on, I mean, why can't Trump just say what he's going to talk? If Trump's going to talk all the time and tweet all the time, God, why can't he just accept when he fucks up? Like I said with Palmero, it would have been so much better, I think, if he had said, yeah, I did him. I cheated. It was wrong. I think if Trump would just say when he fucks up that he fucked up, I think it would be a lot better. Because you feel like he's crazy when he's just like denying things that he did or said or tweeted. No, that's, what was the thing that he tweeted and he couldn't just say that he mistyped it? Covfefe or whatever. And then he deleted it, and I think I talked about this in the last one, and then he brought it up later. It's like, who can figure out what Covfefe means? Dude, can't you just not? I mean, and then why do you have to say, well, people, Spicer came out and said, well, people that need to know what that is know what it is. Like, why wouldn't you just say that it was a typo? It's just so weird, the stuff that they don't budge on, that they just lie about. When it would be it would be so much easier just to say that you messed up. I guess his ego and his ego is just too big. He can't allow himself to say he messed up. I don't know. And it's little things. I mean, if he invaded some country, I'm sure, and that wasn't the right decision, I'm sure he wouldn't come out. I mean, he would think that that's right in his head. Like Bush never said that was the wrong decision. I mean, I'm sorry if you think that invading Iraq was the right decision, but I don't think it was. But that's like a presidential thing. The commander-in-chief, it's a war. A lot of people didn't agree with Vietnam. But still, okay, that's a presidential thing to do. Like, that's, if it's, quote-unquote mistake, it's still a presidential thing. But when you just misspeak and you won't just say, oh, yeah, it's not what I meant. I meant this. It's so weird. I don't know. I'll never know. I know that's, people that defend him say, well, that doesn't have any bearing on his presidency, but it kind of does. And with his people's opinion of him, it makes him seem kind of weird and crazy. I know he's not actually crazy, but it's just a weird thing to not fess up to. I don't know. Last thing. Sorry if I've alienated half of my audience too. I'm sure I have the numbers that Carson had listening to this show. Juice, he's out. He's out again. And he's another guy that just fucking lies. Where if I was a better host, I would have everything pulled up. But God, he was saying just a lot of stuff that was just not true at his parole hearing about how he never used weapons. He's never been accused of a violent crime. Let's see. What would that be? OJ release speech? I don't know if that's I've done my time. Because he's supposed to get out. I think he can get out as early as October. Is that right? It was a unanimous vote to parole him. Let's see. Does it have him talking? I'm trying to find some audio of it here. It's an ad. Sorry, let me get past this PlayStation ad here. But he got 33 years, which was originally, which was the amount that civil suit that the Goldmans had. God damn, really? That is a long that the Goldmans were supposed to get for that civil suit. Let's see. Is this going to give me what I want?
America's best-known inmate turns another corner.
Mr. Simpson, I do vote to grant parole when eligible, and that will conclude this hearing.
It took the Nevada Board of Parole Commissioners about 27 minutes to decide to free O.J. Simpson after nearly 9 years in prison.
I've done my time. I've done it as well and as respectfully as I think anybody can. I think if you talk to the wardens, they'll tell you I gave them my word.
The parole board said Simpson met all of their guidelines for this decision.
That's what they should have done, because the next guy to come before that board that would commit the same crimes, he would get parole if he had the same factors that Simpson had.
Simpson, clearly having lost weight, made a dramatic appearance before the board.
Are you humbled by this incarceration?
He actually doesn't look bad. He looks like he could still play. No, he doesn't look like he still play, but he doesn't look as bad as I thought he would look.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Are you humbled by this?
As I said, I wish it would have never happened.
He'd been convicted of kidnapping, armed robbery, and assault with a deadly weapon for a 2007 incident in a Las Vegas.
I couldn't believe that when I heard that happen. Man, you got away with murder. You committed a double murder and got off, and then you go. I mean, I understand him being upset, and people were stealing his memorabilia. If you guys have never seen OJ Made in America, oh my God, you need. It's on Hulu. I mean, it takes some time. It's like 4 or 5 hours, but all together. But man, is it good? You need to watch it seriously. Even if you're not a sports fan or a football fan or anything, it's still because it covers every single part of that whole thing. The reason why people were, African American people were more supportive of him. Just the racism that was involved, the Rodney King thing going on, and how OJ was kind of a hypocrite because at one point in his life he really didn't have any black friends. He just surrounded himself with white people. He didn't consider himself part of that race. And then when he needs the black people, when he needs the black community to get then he's a brother. He was really pandering to that. Anyway.
Vegas hotel room. Simpson seemingly tried to relitigate the case, saying he was misled into going to the hotel room with associates who were armed and simply wanted to reclaim personal family heirlooms that had been stolen.
I had no weapon. They didn't feel threatened by me, and from what you said, and that I didn't threaten them. It was the other 2 security guys that did that. And I haven't made any excuses in the 9 years that I've been here, and I'm not trying to make an excuse now. They were there because of me, But in no way, shape, or form did I wish them any harm.
But at one moment, Simpson appeared angry when pressed.
So you believe that the
he's going to cut all their heads off.
Property was yours?
It's been ruled legally by the state of California that it was my property, and they've given it to me.
Simpson discussed his reputation.
I think they did take his Heisman Trophy too, which is kind of shitty, but.
As a model prisoner at the Lovelock Correctional Center, how he'd helped prevent violence between inmates and counseled other prisoners. But he also made some eye-popping statements.
I'm not a guy who lived a criminal life.
There it is. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Yes, you did. Come on.
I'm a pretty straight shooter.
What? OJ, come on. Juice. It's like, is there anybody that thinks he didn't do it? Is there anybody left that really, truly in their heart believes that he did not murder those two people?
The man who was accused and acquitted of the brutal stabbing deaths of his ex-wife Nicole and Ronald Goldman said this to the parole board.
Nobody's ever accused me of pulling any weapon on them.
What? Well, they were dead, I guess. Not personally pulling the weapon on them. This fucking guy. It's almost like he's still trying to be charming in this whole thing.
And Simpson, who once pleaded no contest to spousal battery, whose wife's badly beaten face was shown repeatedly at his murder trial.
Oh, that's right. It's true. I mean, I don't think ever with a deadly weapon, but I mean, he did beat the shit out of Nicole. In that documentary, that you do get to hear a lot of her 911 calls about him beating her up. So, I mean, I guess that's, he's been accused of, I guess his fist could be a deadly weapon. I don't know.
Trial had this to say.
I've always thought I've been pretty good with people, and
oh, God. All right, man.
I've basically spent a conflict-free life.
A conflict.
His life has been nothing but tumult. Once he got charged with this crime, we heard all about these beatings, all about how abusive and what a bully he was and how nasty he was towards women.
Tonight, as O.J. Simpson prepares to re-enter society, one veteran trial attorney doubts the country will ever completely turn the page from the
acquitted but still a butcher. People are having signs. I mean, why would he even bring that up? Why wouldn't he just... I feel like you just sit there and say, okay, thank you. I appreciate you paroling me. I mean, does he think those people didn't see the trial and how he was living? When he moved to Florida, he was crazy. Like, he just lived a crazy life. Just like with drug dealers and hookers or maybe it was strippers. I don't know, but he just got into even more, got involved in even worse people when he was there. A straight shooter.
Trial that so bitterly divided America.
The mere mention of his name brings angst and anxiety to a lot of people. So I don't think it'll probably reignite the hate that was kind of percolating under the surface, and people will continue to consider him one of America's most luckiest murderers to date.
Most luckiest. Yeah, he got away with murder, and then he's still fucked up. Even the guy I bought, because I watched it on Hulu first, but then I found it at Best Buy really cheap, considering it's like a 2 and 3 disc set. And the guy that checked me out was a black guy, and he goes, "Have you ever seen this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I saw it on Hulu. I want it because it's really good. I could watch it a bunch of times." And I wasn't sure what this guy was going to say because he's a black dude. So I didn't say anything about, because I'm white. I don't want to say anything because, if I think he's guilty, but, that's because I'm white, people would say. But he was as soon as I said, "Yeah, I saw it once." He's like, "Yeah, man, OJ's guilty as hell." And then he goes down there and he screws up and then goes to jail. And I was like, "Yeah, he got away with murder." And then he still went, fucked up and went to jail anyway. So, but yeah, if you guys haven't seen OJ Made in America, you really need to watch it. Sports fan or not, it's really good. So I guess that's it. I guess I'm going to get out of here. Shorter show, but it's okay, right? You don't want to hear me talking by myself that much. Shit's not working here. There we go. Little technical difficulties. A little bit of technical difficulties. That's if I was a really creepy producer. That's how I would talk. Also, Yetis. Get a Yeti cup or a Yeti cooler if you don't have one. So, yeah, thanks for listening, guys. I promise it's going to be more. It's going to be regular. I'm going to take Metamucil so I can stay regular. so I can shit regularly and do the show regularly. Both. It'll help me do both. But yeah, this one was on a Saturday. I'm still not doing them live and on video yet. Just because I don't feel that it's that interesting if I'm just sitting in here. Once I get some more people or somebody else in here, I think I'll start doing it. But we're set up to go with that. So when we do it, it'll look good. So yeah, make sure you come back. I don't know how you guys get this show, either through iTunes or you actually go to the website and listen, or you listen through Podbean's player or some other podcast directory. But yeah, they're going to be coming at you regularly every Saturday. We're going to do them every Saturday. Whether I get around to editing them and uploading them, that may be the next day. But it will start being once a week. It'll be really the weekly yak. Actually, the weekly yak. It only took... we started in 2010. It only took 7 years to actually live up to that name, right? Anyway, but thanks again for listening, you guys. Appreciate it. And we'll see you next time right here on the Weekly Yeah. Goodbye.
That was awesome.
Thanks for listening to the Weekly Yak.
No, sir, I didn't like it.
Check us out at Weekly Yak. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Lighthouses rule.
And subscribe to us on iTunes.
Keep looking up, because that's where it all is.